Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm T5, and this is the Crescent City Connection, your new home for Louisiana sports. On IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And the production value's up, ladies and gentlemen. Dave's Planet Jerky. And on today's show, where do we begin? Dennis Allen, gone but not forgotten. What's next for the Saints? Is it tank season? We'll get into it. And you know it's Saturday. You know what that means. College. And one of the biggest games of the season. Bama. LSU. Death Valley. We'll discuss. And of course, a little Louisiana high school football. We'll talk P5's top 5 as usual. Then we'll mosey on over. Talk a little Pels talk. There's a little bright side at the end of the tunnel. We'll be hopefully getting somebody back Monday. But until then, there's a discussion that needs to be had. Zion Williamson? What's the problem? That, and of course, Northwestern State. Yeah, you had a bye week. Don't know why, but we're gonna drag you anyway. That and a little bit more, a lot of bit more, here this week on the Crescent City Connection. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us, won't you? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, friends, family, ops, welcome to the Crescent City Connection, your new home for Louisiana sports. I'm T5, you're the Crescent City Connection. The production value has been raised a little. Man, this week there's a lot to talk about. Lot to talk about. So let's dive right into it. First and foremost, shout out to our sponsors. Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky. I'm all out. It's a sad day in the household. I'm all out of Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky. But I got some more coming in because it's that good, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. When you're trying to be bougie on a budget, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And of course, IESportsRadio.com, where you can find me, T5. And all the other lovely sports shows, including the IE Wrestling Show with the homie Martin, SoCal Saint, that we rock on the Wednesday, if you're into that sort of thing. And like I said, we're going to get into it because we have a lot to get into this week, man. A lot of stuff going on in Louisiana sports. But first, we're going to hear from those lovely sponsors, and then we shall continue and dive right into it here on the Crescent City Connection, your direct feed for all that is sports on IE Sports Radio. Yes, sir.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And we are back, ladies and germs. Welcome back to the Crescent City Connection here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Shout out to Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky. It is the truth. I'm waiting for my second batch to come in the mail as we speak because I'm having jerky withdrawals. Of course, shout out to Miss Cecilia B. and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And of course, the channel, iesportsradio.com. All the lovely shows we have here. The Land, Fast Break, 3 and Out, all the shows we have here on the channel. You can check them out, find out the schedule, however you want to say it, on iesportsradio.com. As promised, it's been a busy week on airline, ladies and gentlemen, and we have to talk Saints talk. A lot of stuff going on. I know you want to get to the elephant in the room, but trust me, I got a method to my madness. Bear with me. We're gonna get to it. First and foremost, let's start at the beginning. 4 takeaways from the Carolina fail, as I like to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, we know how bad Carolina is right now. Shout out to Carolina fans out there. There ain't no way on God's green we should have lost to the Carolina Panthers with all our injuries or not. And for the most part, we was right in that game until we weren't. And here are 4 solid takeaways from that game. First and foremost, AK-41, Alvin Kamara, still that dude. Put respect on that man's name. I don't want to hear that stuff. He's that myth about, when a running back turns 30, they magically mythically fall off the ledge. Nah, I don't want to hear that. He's like, what, 29? And they're expecting he's regressed the last 2 seasons. Well, the running game wasn't that great. The play calling wasn't either. So guess what? He's still that dude. And I got the stats to prove it because I'm a professional. Alvin Kamara, 29 rushes, 155 yards. Rushing, not total, rushing. 6 catches for 60 yards equals 35 touches for 215 yards. The most touches in the NFL at 196, ahead of the Rams' Kyron Williams, and third most scrimmage yards at 1,027 behind Saquon and King Henry. Ladies and gentlemen, Alvin Kamara is still that dude. Numero 2. It was time, folks. It was time. The Saints committed 60 yards worth of penalties in the final 9 minutes of that game. They basically killed 2 of their offensive drives that could have took the game home. After 2 holding penalties, the Saints had a 1st and 30. 1st and 30. But guess what? They managed to get 29 of them yards back. And guess what they did? They had a 4th and 1. The running game was working. Alvin Kamara was still working. Taysom Hill was back and healthy, and he was working. Why don't we run the ball? You know what they did? None of those things. They decided to punt. Instead of keeping the drive alive and punting the ball and getting that first down and keeping it going, keeping it pushing, they decided to punt the ball. That right there is a poorly coached team. When you have all them penalties and you kill your drive, that's poorly coached. Then when you have a 4th and 1 and you've been running the ball all game and you know it's down to the nitty-gritty, and once again, instead of running the ball and getting the dang near surefire first, because they have not shown you that they could stop the run, and you have your battering ram in Taysom Hill back finally and healthy. Surefire, run the ball, pick up the first, let's keep it pushing. You punt the ball. And we all know what happened after that. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, we have a term here in New Orleans, to quote the great lyrical wordsmith Juvenile of Cash Money Records, claim you's a thug and ain't got no heart. Dennis Allen showed that either he or his team had no heart. And seeing as that team was still playing hard, it was him or he that had no heart. So Monday, bright and early on Airline, Mr. Allen, we're going to have to ask you to hand in your key card. Oh, don't worry about getting your belongings. They're already in a box. We'll ship them to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dennis Allen was properly relieved of his duties. Well, ain't that something? So, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's start from there. I'm a half glass, half full type guy. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He had injuries, but there were a lot of people that didn't like this dude right off rip. And it was mostly because he didn't sound like a coach. He sounded more like, I said it on the show, he sounds like Mr. Coach Klein from The Waterboy. He doesn't have that make you want to run through a wall for and stuff. And that's what bugged a lot of people. Because he was a heck of a play caller on defense. But what do you do when you have adversity? And sure as hell, we had adversity. And he folded. He folded like a sheep. And not for nothing, Mickey Loomis had his back, but Miss Benson, the owner, she heard them boos from the suite. She heard them boos. She kept her ear to the floor, and she went around Mickey to ask the players, hey, Alvin, come here, baby, come here. Off the record, how do you and the team feel about Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis right now? Oh, don't worry. Keep this stay between me and you. Hey, Cam Jordan, Cam. Hey, Cam, how the wife and kids, baby? Oh, all right, everything's fine. How does the defense feel about Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis? Just off the record, baby. She went and did her own little research, got him out of here. And Mickey was just in his feelings because that was his guy and everything. That was his first coaching decision since Sean Payton left. So that was his dude. He put his stamp of approval on him. And guess what? He had to be feeling some sort of way because we haven't heard from him since. We haven't heard from that dude yet. So, hey, man, it's so hard to say goodbye to the Wait, well, hold on, time out. Hey, producer Jen, we're not gonna get demonetized or anything or copyright stricken for that, huh? Thumbs up, thumbs down. We cool? Great, because that's an original recipe. So all right, I'm just making sure. I ain't trying to get copyrights or nothing like that, man. I'm trying to get the bag, not trying to go not trying to go the other way. Just making sure. Times is tough. I hear folks getting copyright stricken for other for words. I'm just making sure. I know that doesn't sound like boys. I know I sound like Boys to Men -1 or 2, but you get it. You get it. Motown Philly back again. Yeah, whatever. Back to man, talk about digress. With that being said, of course, everybody's going to start talking about interim coaches. Enter Darren Rizzi, special teams coach. And he's automatically right off the rip started putting his stamp on this team, trying to get this job or at least a job somewhere else. He's invigorated the energy into the team that was lacking, holding people accountable, meeting with each of the groups personally, defensive line, offensive line, receivers, backs, quarterbacks, secondary, special teams, yada, yada, yada. So that's cool. Much needed energy put into the team, holding folks accountable. A lot of stuff that Dennis Allen really wasn't doing. So we shall see going forward. But of course, a lot of people are going to start to make the discussion of future head coaches. And of course, you know I had to do it. T5's top 5 future head coaches, prospects, if you will. I have a top 5 candidates. While everybody else has a top 5, I might as well have a top 5 candidates as well. Top 5 candidates in no particular order. Brian Flores, great defensive coach. A lot of people are like, man, we just got through with a defensive-minded coach. So, your point? Robert Saleh. That man did dirty in New York. I think he deserves a second chance. Bobby Slovic over there in the Texans. We've seen what he could do with a young quarterback and that offense because they got at us last year. Ooh, what might he be able to do with a Spencer Rattler or whoever we may draft if we draft a quarterback? Interesting. Aaron Glenn, former secondary defensive backs coach for the New Orleans Saints, who is now the DC over in Detroit. He's got that defense humming. Maybe he come back home. And my last dude, the belle of the ball, Ben Johnson, OC of that same Detroit Lions team. Not for nothing, that team don't look like Detroit. That we've all seen how bad Detroit used to be. This dude took Jared Goff, who a lot of people left for dead. And he has reinvigorated this man's career. Got this man looking like a franchise quarterback. Who, if he could develop not only young talent, but develop a quarterback and change that offense, bro, hey, I'm here for it. And that's my top 5 right there, y'all. But any new coach that comes into this situation is going to have to be mindful of our current cap situation. Doesn't look too good. Never looks really good. But that goes both ways. The front office is going to have to know that this coach is going to have to be given some leeway, a couple of years, to go ahead and change things around because of said cap situation. And the coach is going to have to know that it's going to take a while because of the current cap situation. They're going to have to be simpatico when it comes to making their next choice. The coach coming here and the front office and their expectations. And we have some building blocks here. We have some players that, we have a young nucleus, if you will. We have left tackle, Tali Fuaga. He's 22 years old. Chris Olave, when healthy, 24, number one receiver. Right tackle, Trevor Penning. If we can rebuild him, get him looking to like how he was those first 2 games, cool. He's 25. Cesar Ruiz, right guard, 25. Oddly enough. Rashid Shaheed, Batman to Olave's Robin. To Olave's Superman. 26. Center or linchpin, Eric McCoy. 27. Kool-Aid McKinstry. 22. Only a rookie. Brian Brzee, second-year defensive tackle. Only 23. Cornerback Alante Taylor, who has arguably been playing his tail off this season. 25. Pistol Pete Werner, linebacker, 25. Austin Adebo, currently on IR, he's in the IR, 25. Carl Big Grando, Carl Granderson, defensive end, 27. So we have some good pieces to build around going forward with this new change. But that's not all. That was 2. And 1 was the coaching search. So I did all 4 and didn't even know it. Ain't that some stuff? That is my 4 takeaways from the Carolina fail and the results. That's the future of the Saints. Now, the rest of the fallout. Trade deadline came, went, didn't pick up anybody, but we lost somebody. Shout out to one corner, Marshawn Lattimore, one of the best corners in New Orleans Saints history, hands down. Former defensive rookie of the year, 4-time Pro Bowler, and illegitimate father of Tampa Bay Buccaneers Mike Evans. Every time Tampa used to come to the Dome, it was automatically take your son to work day because he used to work that boy. He was a good father to that boy. I will not have any slander. He was a good daddy to Mike Evans. He took care of that boy the best way he could. He raised that boy the right way, and you will not slander Mike. You will not slander Lattimore that way. I will have none of it on this channel. Mike Evans, you better respect your father. No matter where you go, you better respect that man. He's a hard-working fella. If you meet him in the playoffs in Washington, you better respect him. You show him that respect in Washington. And he's going to the Commanders. Shout out to the homie Jaden Daniels, who's out here tearing things up over there in Washington. Shout out to you. Always got to give the former Tigers the shout out there. So he's going to a new team. We're getting some draft capital because we're going young. Got to give the man his respects because he was a dog when he was here. He's getting a little older, on the 30s. He's getting a lot of injuries, like he's injured right now. A little banged up. We're going with the youth movement. Alante Taylor, Paulson Adebo when he's healthy. Kool-Aid, Rico Payton, and Ugo Amadi. And shout out to Shamar Jean-Charles, off the practice squad, started last week, got himself a fire interception that did absolutely nothing to win the game. But he still got that pick, showing that he has some dog in him. So the secondary will be straight when we get healthy. There's a lot to build there. The youth movement is real. Let's get it. And lastly, and I do mean lastly, Falcons, Saints, Part 2. It doesn't even feel like hate week. It doesn't even feel like it. It just feels so blah. Kirk Cousins has been coming into his own. At first, he looked a kind of rocky. He looked in a sort of way. Drake Young is questionable. Bijan Robinson has been running wild, sort of, kind of. That first game, we shot ourselves in the foot, and we could have won that game. But with minus some defensive lapses. And, of course, spotting them 14 points. This game, we have to man up. We got to show that energy that Rizzy is spreading throughout the locker room. We have to take that energy and run with it. Taysom Hill's healthy. We got to run Taysom. Run Taysom, run AK, exploit some of these matchups, run the ball on them. And who knows? Because the national media is starting to get a whiff, if you will, of Atlanta. And they're like, oh, Atlanta only has 3 losses. Oh, my goodness. Atlanta has, we might want to jump on the Atlanta bandwagon. What better way than to put the kibosh on all that foolishness than for a team fresh off of an 8-game losing streak and firing their coach to come in and whomp them? Oh, yeah. Oh, I would be hella incorrigible. I love the sound of that. Give me some of that. Saints, if you want to do anything with yourself, you want to show some self-respect, you go in, you whomp the Falcons and put an end to all this. Ooh, the Falcons. What are the Falcons doing? Ooh, look at the Falcons. Look at them. Ooh. Put an end to that. All of the stuff must cease. And that's it for Saints Talk. But we return with Saturday. You know what that means. College. Tide. Tigers. Death Valley. Playoff implications? We'll get into that and more when we return to the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No. Not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide for your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you with the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
Larry B and Slick Rick. Your direct feed for all that is sports. Also, shout out in the comment section to the homie Martine, aka the SoCal Saint, aka one half of the Yeet Brothers. The two-man power trip, IE Wrestling Show. Bing. You catch us at high noon on the Wednesdays, hump day, talking the grapples, talking the wrestlings, breaking kayfabe. Over here, brother. Yeet. And as promised, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into a little college. Because it's Saturday. You know what that means, folks. But we're going to start off with the college scoreboard. Louisiana College Scoreboard. Last week, week 10, LSU and Northwestern State were off. Why Northwestern State had a bye? I do not know. Northwestern State has been on a bye since week 1. Why they had a bye last week, I don't know, man. Anyway, Tuesday night, La Tech took the L in a defensive struggle against Sam Houston. They lost 3-9. The Cajuns, on the other hand, beat Texas State 23-17. Shout out to the Cajuns right down the street. Tulane defeated Charlotte 34-3. blasting that pump the party, bump the. They still doing it. Still doing it. Shout out to Tulane. Saturday, Southern defeated Alabama A&M 25-20. Not so much with Grambling. They fell to Bethune-Cookman. SWAC action 24-21. ULM also fell, this time to Marshall 23-28. Southeastern, on the other hand, shout out to the Lions up there, Strawberry Field. They defeated Lamar 30-27 in overtime. Nicholls State fell to Stephen Austin 12-28. Meanwhile, McNeese defeated Texas A&M calm 31-3, as they should. Now, I know we usually have our favorite segment of the show. Say it with me, everybody. How many points did Northwestern lose by? But they were on a bye this week. That don't mean we can't drag them, no. We're going to play a bonus game called, say it with me, folks. What high school team scored more points than Northwestern? Well, just about all of them. All the teams on my LHS top 5 scored more points than Northwestern. I mean, not just one game. I mean, the whole season. Edna Carr scored more points than Northwestern the whole season. Ruston scored more points than Northwestern State the whole season. Acadiana, Reckon Rams scored more points than, I'll even go this far. Not even a neutral site. I'll take Acadiana, put them on a bus, send them to Northwestern State, and I bet they'd beat them. That's how dominant these kids are. And that's how bad Northwestern State is. That Acadiana high school team will beat Northwestern State. Hey, I'm not even a Acadiana kid, and I think they would do that. Neville scored more points than Northwestern State in 2 games than Northwestern State scored the whole season. And of course, Alexandria. Don't even know much about Alexandria. I know where Alexandria is right up the road. I'm pretty sure they scored more points than Northwestern State. But yet, here we are. Oh boy, that team is horrible. Can't wait to see what they do. Because guess what? They're playing right now. Guess who they're playing? Southeastern in the Somebody's Gotta Win Bowl. Northwestern State, I swear on justice. If for some reason you beat my old school, that would be disgusting and kind of ironic. That'd almost be like me jinxing it. Can't wait to find out. But today's schedule, if you will, McNeese Cowboys are on a bye this week. A well-rested, deserved well rest. ULM takes on Texas State right now. Nicholls State at Houston Christian, 2 p.m. Southern takes on Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman just got through beating Grambling. You better not fall, Southern. Grambling takes on Alabama State. Tulane takes on Temple at 3. La Tech takes on Jacksonville State at 3:30. UL Lafayette, them the Cajuns, takes on another one of my former schools, Arkansas State, them Red Wolves, 4 p.m. Shout out to Jonesboro. And number 14, Alabama, takes on number 16, LSU, at Death Valley. Prime time. You already know. This game has playoff implications, if you will. Let's dive into it. LSU, Bama. You know what you're here for. Ladies and gentlemen, this game has the mad playoff implications. Both teams taking some L's they didn't need to be taken. LSU, you know what I'm talking about. You ain't had no business losing to USC like that. And then you got did up by A&M when they swapped quarterbacks on you. Both teams cannot afford to take another L, or they will be CUT, cut from the team. Shout out to Taking Back Sunday. I know my emo songs. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get away with that quarterback swapping thing. They wasn't ready for the running quarterback stuff with Texas A&M. Alabama, we have tape on Milroe. LSU has tape on him. They played him last year. That boy ran on them. You know what time of day it is with him. So they got to be well prepared for this dude. And Nussmeier. You don't have to do it all on your own, homie. The coaching staff needs to rein that boy in. Rein him back in. Because he was doing great. But the last, 7 games? He's thrown 7, not 7 games, but the last couple of weeks he's thrown 7 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's unnuss-like. Bro, I need you to chill all the way out. The running game has been picking up. Lean on that. That Bama defense is not the same Bama defense like old Coach Saban was running. So guess what? You can do some things on them. Pick your spots, homie. Pick your spots. They need to rein Nuss in. And he needs to trust his team, pick his spots, dink and dunk if you got to, get down that field and get them points. The defense has been improving week to week to week. So they definitely need to do their homework on Milroe. Make that dude sit in that pocket. Because he's not that great of a quarterback. So I'll have my popcorn. Wish I had my Planet Jerky premium beef jerky. Unless it comes in today. If it comes in today, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on like Donkey Kong this evening for the game of the week, if you will. But of course, as always, before we close this segment out, you know what time it is. T5's Top 5. Last week, shout out to On3 Sports for the help of doing my research. Last week, we had Alexandria 5 with a 10-0 record. We had Neville 9-0 with number 4. We had Acadiana 8-2. The record in Rams was 3. Ruston snuck back up 7-2. They were at number 2, and of course, Edna Carr 8-1 was number 1. Let's see how that's changed, or if there were any changes. And not much. Alexandria, number 5. Neville's. Number 4. Wrecking Rams, Acadiana, still 3. Ruston, still number 2, and number 1. Number 1 in the city, number 1 in your heart. Edna Carr, still number 1. It's almost that time of season, ladies and gentlemen. When them championships. Can't wait to see who's getting the call to the Dome. That's always the Dome. For those of you who don't know, is the Louisiana Superdome. The different championships games get played in the Dome, which is a very big deal in high school football. And it's on TV. It's so much of a big deal that it's on TV. It's on cable access. You can watch it at home, and I will be watching it when it's announced. And that's T5's top 5 high schools of the week. When we return, we're going to have a solid discussion about the Pelicans. Not just the Pelicans, the organization, and one Zion Kadumphrius Williams. When we return, here on the Crescent City Connection, your new home for Louisiana sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
The light is red, the kids are in bed, which means it is time for Mile High Musings with me, Aaron Yowell, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to the My High Sports Show, Mr. Aaron, and of course, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez and the SoCal Supreme Show. That can be found on iesportsradio.com, along with all our other lovely shows on all places you can get your podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Pels Talk. I'm going to get into the games and the scores, but let's just start right off the rip. Mr. Zion Hadumphreus Williamson III, Esquire, please come to the front of the congregation. What is with Zion Williamson? This is year 6. We're still waiting for him to evolve, show up as it will. We're giving him the keys to the kingdom. We're putting him on top. We're putting it on Zion's back. We've been giving him a mentor here, a mentor here, a mentor here, a mentor here, and doesn't seem to be working. He's been having little knick-knack injuries here and there. He started off the season we thought was healthy, and then he was out. And now he's been having hamstring injury, hamstring tightness, if you will. Now, some of it could be mental. It could be PTSD from having the other injuries he's had, the previous hamstring injuries. He may feel a little tightness, a little something there, and just starts bugging out because he's afraid that he may be out for another stretch of time, and he doesn't want that. So it could be mental. Whatever it is, it seems to be hampering the team when he needs the most. We need somebody that the team needs somebody they can count on. A lot of these other teams have that dog, that alpha, that dude you know you can count on, you can lean on when it's crunch time, when it's time to go. Dallas has Luka. OKC has man, I'm coming to a blank. I know the boy's name. You know his dang name. Don't play with me like that. Golden State has Steph Curry, and even when he's injured, he's on the sideline. Dude, Zion Williamson wasn't even on the sideline when he was hurt. It's like they told him to go home, and he went home. Every team has that dude, just about every good team at least has that dude they can lean on. And the Pelicans are still waiting for Zion to step up. They're still waiting for him to own it. But some of it might not just be him. I swear I'm a professional, folks. Is it the front office? The front office has been enabling this dude for a long time. But it's not just him. They've been enabling Brandon Ingram. They've also been lying to the public, if you will. And they expect Willie Green to lie because they put Willie Green right there front and center after every game, win or lose. They put Willie Green out there and have him talk. And when he gives the injury report, it's either, this and that. And he's not being 100. They're not being 100 with the fans. So it makes you think, is the front office lying to us on purpose to protect the players? Or do they not know what the heck they're doing? Instead of giving us like the 100%, just tell us the truth and deal with it. Why are they being so blasé with it? I know we got injuries, folks, but there's light at the end of this tunnel. Well, first, before we get to that part, let's get to the games of the week. We currently sit at 3-7. We took an L to the Hawks, 126-111. Followed that up by taking another L to the Blazers. We are now 1-2 against the Blazers this year already. 118-100. Earlier this week, middle of the week, we took another L to the undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, I just said that. Undefeated Cleveland Cavaliers. I know it tastes kind of nasty. It sounds weird too. 131-122. Shout out to Cleveland. They doing their thing. And just yesterday, we took another L to the Magic. 115-88. That most of these games were close into the fourth quarter where they just let go of the rope. I understand we have injuries, but we got dudes playing their tails off and we let go of the rope. And Brandon Ingram was being like the most consistent dude on the team, but then he has games where he just looks like, oh yeah, that's why we're not paying you that whatever the heck million you wanted, that max money you wanted. Oh yeah, now we remember. Bright side, we've discovered Brandon Boston Jr. If you didn't know this dude, you do now, because this dude has been showing his tail off. He was playing with Hawk, and then Hawk got injured with some lower back spasms, and he's, once again, the front office is telling us, oh, he's going to be evaluated in 2 weeks. But he was saying that he could play if he. Which one is it? Marsha. With this front office. But they did find Brandon Boston Jr. out there on waivers and picked him up. You might want to get this dude a contract. This dude has been a revelation in all this turmoil. Another revelation, Mr. Yves Missi. At one point, we were all, man, we might have to send him to the G League when the season starts to get some reps. Wrong. This boy has been doing his thing. He's been playing the minutes. We were afraid after that one preseason game that, oh, man, this dude's going to be foul prone. He's going to be foul prone. He hasn't shown it. The most he's gotten, I think, is 5 fouls in one game. Other than that, he hasn't shown it. He hasn't fouled out any. And he's been playing his position, playing defense, getting rebounds. We just need to get some more rebounds. If he can build himself up to that double-double machine and continue to play the solid defense, 100% our center, our 5 for the future. And like I was saying before, there's light at the end of the tunnel. On the injury report last night, a name popped up that wasn't there before. Mr. Tre'Davious Trey Murphy III, Esquire. His name has been on the list, listed as doubtful. Now, as you all know, he suffered injury during preseason, has not played a game yet. He is now aiming to play Monday. against the Brooklyn Nets. And I'm all for it because we could sure use Trey Murphy now. But I hope he's 100% because the boy's a dog. And we can't take too many more injuries and whatnot. Oh, boy. Oh. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for you. That's all I have to give That's all I have to give. It's been another fun one, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky and Miss Cecilia B. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. You can follow them on their respective websites. Give them a look-see. Hopefully my refill is in the mail. And shout out to Mr. Jose from Planet Jerky because they accidentally sent me the wrong information about my shipping package. And he got back to me immediately emailed me and screenshot me and showed me where my package has been sent out. So shout out to Mr. Jose and the folks at Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky. Hopefully you need a spokesperson, if you will, spokespeople, maybe. We'll discuss. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great one. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Northwestern State, Southeastern, I'll be keeping a track of you. I'll be keeping a track of you. Hopefully the Saints can bounce back. Hopefully Trey Murphy and the Pels get healthy, bounce back. Hopefully your wig stays on. Hopefully your babies and your baby mamas are abiding and behaving themselves. Hopefully your neighbors aren't playing their music too loud. I hope all is well with you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another edition of the Crescent City Connection, the fastest rising Louisiana sports show here in the great sportsman's paradise. And I'm T Fizzle. You can find me on the X at whoistfizzle, and of course under Crescent City _IE. Well, I talk a lot of stuff. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Good day and God bless. Now, rock out to the music, the outro music.